Assalamu alaikum students. I hope you all are fine and safe at home. I'm fine too. This is the week 7 and lecture number 2. We have started the chapter coordination and control, and today we'll discuss the receptors in the humans and the structure of the eye. Here are some objectives to summarize the structure and functions of the eye and describe the different receptors of the humans. First of all, we will discuss what are the receptors. Receptors are those parts which are specifically built to detect the particular type of stimuli. These are called the sense organs or the receptors. The main receptors in the human are eyes, ear, nose, taste buds, receptors of the touch, pain, pressure, heat and cold. These are present in the skin. And today we will discuss the eye, which is the main receptors of the human body to see around. Our eyes are located in small portions of the skull known as orbits or eye sockets. Eyelids wipe the eyes and prevent the dehydration. They spread tears on the eyes which contain substances for fighting bacterial infections. Eyelashes prevent the fine particles from entering the eye. The structure of the eye can be divided into three main layers. Students, eyes are the cameras of the body, or you can say we can see the whole world with the eyes. And Allah has made the different parts of the eyes, like we are having the eyelids, we are having the eyelashes, and they are having the specific function, like eyelashes prevent the fine particles to enter in our eyes, eyelids prevent from the dehydration, and there is a liquid like tears, they are in our eyes so that our eyes become wet due to this liquid. In this diagram you can see there are different parts of the eye. Here are the ciliary muscles and which holds the lens. In the center of the lens there is a pupil, and the white part of the eye which we can see from the front, this is called iris, and the front layer is called cornea, and behind the eye there is a retina, which is the you can see on which the images are formed, and then there is the optic nerve. Optic nerve take the messages to the brain so that we can see. The outer layer of eyeball consists of sclera and cornea. Sclera gives you eye most of its white color. It consists of dense connective tissue and protects the inner components of the eye and maintain its shape. In front of the sclera forms the transparent cornea. Cornea is the part from which light admits to the interior of the eye and bends light rays so that they can be brought to the focus on the retina. Students, the images focus behind the eye. There is a screen which is called retina, and our different diseases of the eyes are due to this retina, like we are having a night blindness, we are having a short sightedness, long sightedness. These all are due to the images formed on the retina, how they formed. The middle layer is called choroid. Choroid, it contains the blood vessels and gives the inner eye a dark color. The dark color prevents the disruptive reflection within eye. Behind the cornea, choroid bends to form a muscular ring called iris. And students, iris is that part of the eye which hold the lens, and there is a round hole called pupil in the center of the iris. After striking the cornea, the light passes through the pupil. In some emergency conditions, pupil dilates. In some normal condition, pupil contracts, and it allows the amount of light, it controls the amount of light that is entering into the eye. So this is the middle layer that we call choroid. Here you can see when light intensity decreases and the when light intensity increases, what happens to the pupil. Pupil constrict when light intensity increases, and the pupil dilate when there is a decrease in the light intensity. And this is also controlled by the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Like in previous lecture, I have told you that during the sympathetic nervous system's emergency situation, sympathetic nervous system prepares the body to deal with the emergency situation, so the pupil dilates. Behind the iris there is a convex lens which is focus the light on the retina. Lens is attached to the ciliary muscles of the eye via ring of suspensory ligaments. Here are the muscles as well as the ligaments which are attached to the muscles. To clearly see an object far away, ciliary muscles are relaxed and the lens become less convex, so that we can see the far objects very easily. When the ciliary muscles contracts, the lens become more convex and like its shape become round. So we can see the near objects very clearly. The inner layer is sensory and is called retina. It contains the photosensitive cells, rods and cones. These are associated with the neurons. Here you can see the structure of the eye. There is an eyelid, pupil, sclera and iris. You can clearly see which parts are these: eyelids, pupil, sclera and iris. If you will see the internal structure of the eye, here is the cornea, iris, lens, that is a convex lens, ciliary muscles that are attached to the ligaments and sclera, and behind that there is the retina and optic nerve. Rods and cones are two types of cells. Rods are sensitive to dim light while the cones are sensitive to bright light, and so there is a difference between we can distinguish between the different colors. Retina has 2 points, fovea and optic disc. Fovea is a dip in retina directly opposite to the lens and is densely packed with the cone cells. As you know, the cones are sensitive to the bright light. It is largely responsible for color vision and sharpness as well. Optic disc is a point on the retina where the optic nerves enters the retina. There are no rods and cones at this point. This is why this is also called the blind spot. You can say here is a one spot, there is no rod cells, no cone cells, so we can say this is the blind spot. Here you can see optic nerve, and in the center of the optic here is the blind spot. There is a rods, cones and rods. These both types of cells are sensitive to the different intensity of the light. Iris divides the cavity of the eye into two chambers. The interior chamber is in front of the iris, between the cornea and the iris, whereas the posterior chamber is between the iris and the retina. Retina is the screen where the images are formed. The interior chamber contains a clear fluid known as aqueous humor. Students, here is the assignment. You have to write a note on the structure of the eye and you have to give the headings about the different parts of the eye. You can take help from the page number 42 and 43. Okay, thank you very much. In the next lecture we will discuss different other errors which are related to the eye. Okay, thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.